In the quiet lakeside town of Maple Ridge, where tall pine trees lined every winding path and morning sunlight sparkled on the water like tiny diamonds, lived two imaginative siblings named Ethan and Maya, who shared a small, cedar-scented cabin with their loving parents. The kind of place where laughter drifted out of open windows, fireflies glowed at night, and the smell of freshly baked bread always lingered in the air. Ethan, with his adventurous spirit, could usually be found building forts out of sticks and stones in the yard or racing his toy boats across the lake, while Maya preferred to spread her sketchbooks across the living room floor, drawing colorful worlds filled with animals, castles, and magical forests. Their parents adored them deeply, doing everything they could to keep them happy, safe, and growing into kind young people. One breezy late afternoon, as the sun began its slow descent behind the mountains, Mom called out from the kitchen, "Ethan, Maya, it's time to come in and clean up before dinner. Please, your things are everywhere, and we'll be eating soon." But Ethan, fully absorbed in adjusting the sails on his wooden boat so it would glide faster across the water, pretended not to hear, and Maya, sitting cross-legged on the porch with pastel chalk dust covering her fingers, continued shading the wings of a butterfly in her drawing as if the world around her didn't exist. Mom wiped her hands on her apron and stepped outside again, her voice calm but firm, explaining that the porch and yard were cluttered with toys, books, and art supplies, and someone could trip, twist an ankle, or break something special. Yet Ethan only sighed in annoyance, muttering, "But I'm not finished." Just before a soft gust of wind blew his carefully positioned boat onto a rock, splintering the small sail he had worked on all day, and Maya huffed quietly, insisting that cleaning was dull and her drawing was too important to stop now. Moments later, Dad walked up from the dock, where he had been putting away fishing gear, and knelt beside them with understanding in his eyes. He told them gently that he knew how fun it was to play uninterrupted, to stay lost in imagination, and to hold on to moments of creativity, but he reminded them that when he and Mom asked them to stop and help, it wasn't to spoil their fun, it was to protect them, teach them responsibility, and keep their home safe, peaceful, and comfortable for everyone. He explained that when they asked for tidying, it was because stepping on scattered toys could hurt someone, and when they called them inside for dinner, it was because warm food was ready, made with care to nourish their bodies and help them grow strong enough to climb trees, run along the lake, and dream big dreams. Ethan looked down at the cracked sail of his boat, feeling a little guilty as he remembered how Dad had helped him carve the body of the boat a few weeks earlier, and how Mom always washed his muddy clothes, packed his lunches, and tucked him in each night even when she was tired. Maya stared at her art supplies spread across the steps and thought about how Mom always admired every drawing she made and how Dad always saved her favorite pencils when they rolled under the couch. They realized, silently at first, that their parents did so much for them, more than they noticed, more than they thanked them for, so the least they could do was help when asked. Without exchanging a word, Ethan stood up, placed his broken boat carefully on the porch railing, and started picking up the scattered sticks and ropes he had dragged out earlier. Maya closed her sketchbook, gathered her pastels into their worn metal tin, and began brushing the colorful dust off the porch, working with quiet determination. Together, they moved around the yard collecting everything they had taken out, boat pieces, crayons, notebooks, pebbles, and even the little tin flashlight Ethan had forgotten in the grass. Earlier, and soon the cabin's porch and yard looked neat and peaceful again, just the way their parents liked it. When they finished, they ran inside, cheeks warm with sincerity, and wrapped their parents in a big, heartfelt hug, whispering apologies for not listening the first time and promising to try harder from now on. Their parents smiled with gentle pride, grateful not just for the clean porch but for the change in their children's hearts. From that evening onward, Ethan and Maya made a real effort to listen when Mom or Dad called, even when they were busy with something fun, and they learned to help with simple tasks, setting the table, putting away their shoes, feeding their little dog Birch, saying please and thank you, because they understood that these small acts were not chores meant to ruin their day, but ways of showing love, respect, and gratitude to the people who cared for them every moment of their lives. If you enjoy the story, kindly like, comment and subscribe. Always visit this channel for more interesting, inspirational, educational and moral stories.